So let's take a look at our student groups widget. So I'll close it up. So here are my different widgets, and we're going to go to student groups. And student groups is a great way of being able to isolate a set of students for really targeted interventions in some way, or to keep track of them. So if we go to student groups based on particular risk factors, and as we talked earlier today, the ABC risk factors are great tools for us to be able to target certain student groups. So in our widget we have my student groups, and as you can see, these are student groups that I have made previously, and they're ones that I just have been working on. But if I want to make a new one, I go to filter and create. And so in filter and create, I first figure out my enrollments. So let's try to see prior to the start of the beginning of this year, or something to that effect. I really want to see is which ones of my, let's say 7th graders potentially at risk based on their attendance. And so I can go, and in this case I'm going to choose a particular middle school, and of course these are, I'm in demo mode, so these are fictitious schools. So now I have Chelan Middle School. And so in Chelan Middle School, there's 858 students in Chelan Middle School. And so I'm going to really focus on my 7th grade. So now I know that in Chelan Middle School, I have 267 7th graders. And you can see that right here. If I want to see who they are, I just open this little tab up, and it shows me all the students. All right. Now, I just don't want to know who all my kids. I want to know which ones are having attendance issues. So I'm going to add a filter to this group, and I am going down to filter by risk on top of enrollment. So I don't need elementary risk index, and I don't need the high school risk index. I really just need the middle school risk index. So here, when I click on this, I can choose any of the different possibilities of a risk index, such as number of humanities classes failed, math classes failed, science classes failed, reading, the reading requirement, the science requirement, all different kinds of things. Up here is the risk indicators. And so for this case, I'm really interested in this case, attendance rate. So what I'm interested in is students that are attending less than 90% of the time, which would deem for us being at risk in that area. So I have chosen that, and I have 59 students that are attending less than 59, attending less than 90% of the time. Now, I think I want to narrow this, because sometimes I can have students that are not attending, but it's not really impacting their grades and things to that effect. So what I'll also do is add something to this. So I can have one attendance, but let's add a risk to it. So I'm going to another index indicator, and I'm going to take the overall middle school at risk, so that they combine with all their things, with academic, behavior, attendance, all of those put together, are they at risk? And so this will isolate my at-risk students. Let's see if it works. My at-risk students down to 46. So now I have 46 of those students that are particularly have attendance at risk, that also overarching are at risk. So this attendance is impacting their other courses. So now I have my group. I want to save this group. And I'm going to say attendance 7 at risk. So I will save it. So now I know the students who need to have some sort of potentially attendance contract or something, or at least be analyzed. As a principal, I'm not necessarily going to analyze every single one of the kids, but I do have an at-risk advocate, or I do have a counselor who will look at each one of these kids and set up interventions for students that need it. So what I'll do now is, now that I've made my group, I'll go to my student groups, and as you can see attendance 7, and I'll click on it, and again it can show me all the kids, that the 46 kids here. Oop. Now once I have my group, I will then say, well, I could print this group, I could download this group into Excel, I could delete this group, I could edit it, but what I really want to do is copy this group to other users. And what this allows me to do is, I want to talk around this at our in our leadership team. So I'm going to save this group to all school administrators in my school. So now, there you go. So now I'm going to share this to the administrative team. And so what this has just done is it's taken that group, and when my administrators go into their homeroom, they get to see that same group. And since it's dynamic, that group will adjust as that risk factor changes. And so hopefully we'll see less of those kids. And so these administrators, it's been shared with at that. That includes the principals and counselors. Now let's say that I have an at-risk advocate, and my at-risk advocate's name is John something. And I say, John, I really want you to, John Samuel Anslow is my at-risk advocate at my school. I know it doesn't say that, but I'm saying, okay, I'm going to copy it to you too. So now you have that group. And I can follow up that with an email that says, hey, I copied the kids who are at risk of attendance, and I'd like you to look at those kids, and I would like to know what plan we have to improving those attendance rates, or if kids don't need a plan, kind of an idea of why that is the case. So now that I have it, all the people that need to know which 7th graders are at risk based on attendance that is impacting their grades.